He is not the regular intellectual with bogus titles not backed by substantial evidences. Neither does he pride himself as an excellent scholarly mind that he obviously is. Despite his huge and copiously intimidating dossier that reveals him as the first Nigerian and African student to win a Hornbeck Scholar Award at the University of Denver, Colorado, United States of America in 1996, an academic prize meant solely for students with a 4.0 GPA, the highest graduating grade point. This indeed is the modest summation of the impressive personality profile of the charismatic Nigerian achiever of note, whose splendid traditional retirement in the sociocultural sphere of his native community, as well as several decades of meritorious service to fatherland, we are here congregated to celebrate.
We are here.
Welcome to the dignifying world of Dr. Agbai, EKE Agbai, an uncommon Nigerian with huge academic and professional accomplishments, one of the best critical thinkers of our time, and an unassuming global citizen whose philanthropic gestures to his fellow compatriots know no limits. Born on March 3, 1960 in Lagos, Dr. Agbai EKE Agbai hails from Abriba community in a Hofia local government area of Abia State, southeast Nigeria. For his early education, this great man of letters had a most trying period, considering that it was accentuated by the Nigerian Civil War that almost marred the entire process. Fortunately for him, however, his parents, who knew the essence of education, came in handy, coupled with his academic brilliance that later earned him a scholarship to study abroad.
I had the privilege of being born at a time when you didn't even realize you were an Igbo man. There was no need for it. As I said, born in Lagos State, it was a very loving growing up with parents. But I must say, after the war, it was very difficult. I had to trek from the city of Ihiala in present-day Anambra State to Abriba, my hometown. You can imagine being subjected to that hardship as a young boy, 10 years old. But thankfully, because of my parents' interest in education, they did everything possible to make sure that that did not affect my performance in school. And to the glory of God, I did exceptionally well and obtained a scholarship to travel to the United States.
The academic achievements of this erudite and creative business developer with a high sense of decency would grossly be incomplete without taking a peep into his experiences at the University of Denver, Colorado, USA, where he was voted the best public speaker and also awarded the Hornbeck Scholar Award for Academic Excellence.
I was a stammerer, could hardly speak fluently. I was able to overcome that challenge, and I became the best public speaker in Denver. Number 2, I won what is called a Hornbeck Scholar at Denver University, and Hornbeck Scholars are those graduating with a 4.0 GPA. The highest graduating point is 4.0, and when you make a 4.0 GPA, it's called sum cum laude, an equivalent of first class. And I was given a citation for it, and that was one of my proudest moments. That a young man from the village of Abriba went through the Nigerian Civil War, education being disrupted during the war, yet was able to come to the United States, competed with the blacks, with the white, with the Japanese, with the Chinese, and graduated as a Hornbeck Scholar. That was both humbling and also very fulfilling.
He is not the regular intellectual with bogus.
Very elegant. I welcome you, sir.
Hello. Hi. I'm happy to be here. EKE is my junior brother. And EKE is my junior brother. And I know that he's capable of doing this. So today, EKE, I recognize you. I pray for God to guide you, to give you wisdom. People have said a lot about you. You know you're a good man and you have a good heart. Continue. God will bless you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
You let us know.
Let me say one thing. The first day I met Dr. Agbai, I was Deputy Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, and I was in charge of clearing new students. This gentleman just walked into my office, and then so full of life and very jovial. He said, "Yes, I like you." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, I think I like you." I said, what's your problem? He said, "Look, I've come here I'm going for PhD. I said, "Okay, can I see your papers?" He said, "No problem." He went, called one chap, brought his paper. After clearing him, he gave me his complimentary card, and we exchanged numbers. That was, I think, 2020 or 2019. I didn't see him again, and we never spoke. So one day I saw him in front of my faculty. I said, "So you are still here up to now?" He said, "Yes." I thought you will not be able to come to classes. And he repeated the same thing yesterday to me. I said, "Yes." And he was surprised I have his number. When he called me, he said, "I want you to come and grace this occasion today." For me, coming into Abuja is a Herculean task. In fact, I honored his invitation and I decided to say, okay, let me make it today, because Professor Alegba can be our weakness. When we were coming, the go slow was too much. In fact, I nearly said I'll call him and then go back to Kefi. I don't want to come to Abuja anymore. Dr. Agbai, I wish you success and good life. I'm sure I'm also above 60. I think the double PhD is enough. But we will urge you to come back to the academy. Come back and impart to the young ones, so that your double PhD will not be there in the shelf, doing nothing. I have heard elders here talking about the good side of you. I don't know the bad side, but I know you are a good gentleman. So I wish you good luck in your life and better days ahead. Thank you very much.
That's a diplomatic professor. Thank you very much, Professor.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I, with every humility I may muster, ask that I be granted the permission by my professor seated here that I seek refuge in the already established protocol, except to recognize in a special way my younger brother, my family, a man who has transformed and changed and to a large extent elevated the concept of loyalty,
the concept of generosity, the concept of respect. I will not say the other one that I do with him privately, but ladies and gentlemen, Chief James Ume Ikaba. On a night like this, that I want people to have fun, I can only go straight to what in the course of my early education, I came across a great French philosopher, René Descartes, ended a search for a statement that cannot be doubted. What did he say? Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. This unique and prestigious assemblage of great minds, of my friends, colleagues, associates, and so on, is in appreciation of this strategic investment in human capital development called education, which equips us with the mind not to doubt you exist. Because if you did not, you will not be able to think in the first place. That's the essence of cogito ergo sum. The question on the lips, therefore, is, now that you know you exist, what do you do with this existence? How will this existence impact humanity? That's the question on the lips. And I go one more step. We cannot avoid sufferings, but we can choose how to cope with it, find meaning in it, and move forward with a renewed purpose and hope. The victim in a qualified situation of distress, pain, anguish, and indeed deprivation, being rational, can make a conscious and conscientious decision to walk away from the established course of misery. This paragraph from Victor A. Franklin in his book Man's Search for Meaning should remind us of the state of the Nigerian nation. Should remind us of the state of the Nigerian nation today. As Nigeria and Nigerians pass through this plethora of challenges and we seek pathways for solution, it calls for this strategic alignment of like minds, all of us here seated, including those, and I will not tell them what I did wrong, because I know what I did with them. But I will not tell you, because we did not go to the whole house, but I'll tell them what would I do with them. Because when they say, okay, there's another part of me. Me, I know what me I do with them too. Chiku Densi to start with. Remember, he was in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember that first day. One of these challenges, ladies and gentlemen, one of these challenges today is the huge loss of revenue to Nigeria, consequent upon oil thefts that have been said by many people, and the pipeline vandalization of our coastal areas. The economic development of these coastal areas is largely dependent on the level of international maritime security threats on its maritime domain. With these pervasive international maritime security threats, especially in sea piracy and oil thefts, Nigeria, and I want you guys to listen to this very carefully, according to an August 2023 and have been supported by my good friend and brother, Dr. Oboneyaji. In their recent statement, the report has told us that Nigeria lost, read my lips, 65,700,000 barrels of crude oil following the shutdown of the Trans-Niger pipeline, which produces 180,000 barrels of crude per day. Let me convert it into currency. Nigeria lost $5.4 billion as a consequence. And for students of mathematics here, please do the calculation, but spare me the answer. I do not want to be my friend P2B, who will do the math and give you the answer in the last group. He will say, this means 1 trillion, this million, billion, this thousand, and the last group. I will not be P2B tonight, trust me. And I go back here. Apart from the revenue losses, apart from how it affects our GDP, our investment, the environmental pollution from the oil spills and contaminations, the huge security concerns, militancy, kidnapping and violence, Nigeria, we are facing a very tough time. In the course of this research, I came to appreciate the monumental challenges confronting NPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. I am not their spokesperson, so I will just say briefly some of my findings. Because this is an intellectual exercise, permit me to share one or two things about these findings relative to fuel subsidy and NPC. How many of you here know that NNPC is one that has paid and is paying for the subsidy? Let me briefly explain the methodology of the process. The price of crude oil is internationally fixed. Gentlemen, you may wait to listen to this because this is the area of domain also. As I said, the NNPC is currently paying for the oil subsidy. The price of crude oil is internationally fixed. It is not priced differently. The same thing with the refined products, the premium motor spirit, popularly known as our petrol, the BMS. So when the products are imported, the landing cost is such that it will be too expensive for you and I. So by right, the subsidy is to be shared between the federal government, the state, and the local government. But today, NNPC is responsible for paying these subsidies. As a consequence upon this, the profit made by NNPC, which should have been passed on to the government for the purposes of developmental projects, has been taken away. Let me share another thing that will shock you. When these oil marketers get this subsidized PMS, instead of selling the fuel to you and I, given the fact that they've received the subsidy, they will truck them to neighboring African countries to sell at exorbitant prices just to double, triple, or quadruple their profits. This is the height of greed and lack of patriotism. I'm sorry to say that given what I know today, I say it painfully that Nigeria and this sector has become a crime scene. Nigeria has become what? A crime scene. At this juncture, let me not bore you with it at this moment, because we are here to have fun. We've just had wonderful people spoke about me. Thank you for all the good things you said, and for Chikudensi, for Ajobonea. Just remember that you and I, we went there together, and I have the record to show it. So in this day of age, and this day of, in fact, Chikudensi is the worst. If I tell you what he did to me, you people will pity me. But I'm glad that we're all having fun. Let me not bore you guys, because I want us to have fun. But this will be incomplete if I do not take a moment to thank, and I cannot thank him enough, the publisher and chairman of Whistler newspapers, Chief James Ume Ikaba. May I ask you to please stand? Thank you. Ikaba, you are an exceptional breed, young man. You have taken generosity, you have taken loyalty, you have taken veracity, integrity to a new height. A gifted investigative journalist, except that when it comes to me, you don't investigate me enough. And I thank you for that. You are a prolific writer. You're a good man who has punctuated it with humility. You are a committed builder of younger people. In fact, what interests me the most, Ikabam, you carry the burdens of others with an unusual sense of equanimity. Thank you for being my family, in whom I am well pleased. Even as Udensi questions my biblical knowledge, I have said, in whom I am well pleased. To my dear wife, who was unable to be here because our last daughter just entered at Oxford University to read law. She's my pillar and my strength. Sometimes I wonder how she could marry me, because I'm a difficult man. I know that. You told them what? And to my wonderful children for their patience. And I wonder how I could caution them to do right when I know what I did to my parents. But Dr. Mogos has told you, if only I will tell you what this man and Dr. Agbai, my late brother, did to me. These people, they dealt with me, but I dealt with them too. And ask me how I dealt with them. They would send me to go and bring their girlfriends. I would have had those girls to my older men. That was before, that was there. No, now it's an elder, no talk about girlfriend like that. And then especially to the former head of state and president, Chief Aremu Okikiola Matthew Olusegun Obasanjo, who gave me scholarship to head to the United States in 1979 when he was the head of state. Little did I know that it would shape my life. A great African legend, a Nigerian icon, a detribalized leader. He has the vision to build the first presidential library in Africa that has become a beacon of hope, peace and conflict resolution from the horns of Africa to Zambia to Kenya, and everywhere there's crisis. But don't make that man write you open letter, he will write. A globally respected man of honor who did not only provide and continue to do
do things for Africa. Let me take you back in 1978 when he gave Dan a whopping $20 million to facilitate the transition from Southern Rhodesia to become the Republic of Zimbabwe. We have forgotten that. How many people here still remember what was then called the Mandela tax? Mandela tax. That he taxed. I guess when I say it, people say, this man's an old man. But there was a time there was a Mandela tax on civil servants to help to dismantle apartheid. He could not come, but I'm delighted to say he has sent the managing director of Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, the OOPL, to stand for. Ladies and gentlemen, recognize Mr. Vitalis. Vitalis, may you please stand up. Vitalis, the only thing I don't like is that each time we have a sitting, you have difficulty doing what you need to do, and Baba will not like you because you're a very stingy man, like Baba. May I also thank my 3 professors who taught me and made the program successful. Professor Eugene Aleba. Professor Aleba, let me say something about you. You was my chief supervisor. But let me say what I don't like about you. When I will tell you that, could you please allow me not to do this EKE, this is not a big man program, do it. And I thought you were hard on me. In retrospect, thank you for your sincerity. Thank you for standing up for what is right. And thank you for academic excellence. Professor Eugene Aleba, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Suleiman Mohammed, the first day I walked in there, he looked at me, and I wish I was not wearing what I was wearing. He said, "Okay, are you sure you won't do this program?" That was what he said. And I said, yes. And I thought I would divert his attention to tell him that I like you. The man stood, "Are you sure you want to do something about liking me?" When I ran into him in the course, he said, "You are still here?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You have impressed me. People like you start this program and we don't see them again. I am impressed." When I got his message back, he said, "I remember this. Professor Suleiman, I thank you, sir." There's a man I call the big man professor. Professor Jidofo. I will see him as Kaiman. He will walk in. Excellent scholar. Cerebral. Very cerebral. I said, "No, this man, they like he know my business. Make an avoid him." Professor Jidofo, you guys need to see him lecture, just like Aleba. His concept of foreign policy. He understood that foreign policy must be dictated by core national economic interest, because the foreign policy of any nation is an advancement of domestic policy. I did not know then that we had something in common because he was a journalist. So when I started seeing him on TV, I said, this is why I'm very proud of Nasarawa State University, a university I would recommend to anybody to go and do their PhD. And I want to tell you 3 professors, I am committed into building one of the biggest alumni that will raise over 100 million for your university. And I will start with James Sume to start that when I'm ready. Because you guys have done so well, not giving the credit that Nasarawa State University deserves until I went there myself. I did not miss one single lecture. And it happened because that was during COVID, the pandemic COVID of 2021. At some point, I had to stay at that hotel across. But there's something that Udensi did, and I don't like him for that. And James Sume, they made sure nobody came to visit me, and I wanted those visitors. Too many people here, too many to mention. My brother, Pastor James,
a child today. My younger brother, Dr. EKE Agbapai and his beautiful wife, director with NCC. EKE is the minor version of me. I don't know if he does it, but I'll ask Obonaya because he and Obonaya they operate in the night. But I know his wife is a gentleman. EKE, I love you. You're a good man. And to many other people, if you want to take the stairs upstairs and you cannot, just call my brother here. He is the chairman of company I know. Otis. Please forgive me on a night like this if I do not mention anybody by name. I know you all and I thank you, EKE Agbai's friends, my friends, and everybody here. And all those who have spoken, Chief Jumbo and the rest of them. Wherefore I say, with my faith in God and my conscience clear, setting up the collective task that still lies ahead, and given these economic challenges that still confronts Nigeria, because I am a pathological believer in the greatest of Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, the best of Nigeria is yet to come. May the Almighty God see you through.
You can see oratory. Can we put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen? Amazing. Amazing. That is the Martin Luther King of Abriba. Congratulations to you, Doctor. Amazing. Please, let's be seated, please. Let's be seated. Let's be seated. Thank you very much, Doctor. You know, somebody once said that that music is the strongest magic. Now a whole lot of people have spoken tonight, but where words end, music begins. Music, as they say, washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. So tonight, apart from his oratory, Dr. Agbai, apart from your oratory, your cuteness, your intellectualism, Scheinbach said, I shall invite you to the dance, but What we're actually celebrating is a choice a man has made for his destiny, supported by family and friends, and loved by all.
Agbabola, how much is money? It's nothing. Ballin', premium or nothing. Now you know. Now you know.